Welcome to the Cardano Sense DC Fund, where we look at least 3 projects that are trying to get funded by Cardano. My name is Anthony. If this is your first time here, please like and subscribe. This show is brought to you by my website and my stake pool. Here's my website, the Cardano Fund. It's just a place where you can go look at the projects without having to log in. This is Fund 3, which is being voted on right now, but we're going over Fund 4 proposals. So you just click on a proposal, takes you to the proposals, pretty easy. And this here's my stake pool. We're doing pretty good. 103 lifetime luck, 89 lifetime blocks. We're a small pool, a little over 500,000 ADA, so we have plenty of room to grow. All right, so let's get into this now. So the way we do things here is I pick from one of these 3 campaigns, or I'm sorry, 7 campaigns this time around. Let me pop this on the screen so you can see it. So Fund 4 has 7 active campaigns, right? So I'll go through them real quick. Developer ecosystem, dApps and integrations, distributed decision making, proposer outreach, catalyst value onboarding, local community centers, and Fund 6 challenge setting. I feel like I'm on Jeopardy. Okay. Each one has a different objective. The one we're going to go with today, I picked a kind of a different one. We're going to go with proposer outreach. So proposer outreach is essentially how do we get people to come in and use Catalyst and propose, propose so they can be funded. So pretty much, how do we get people to do the things that we're looking at right now? So I picked three out today. Let's get to the first one here. First one we'll be looking at is Cardano podcast interview with teams. Okay, so problem statement: we don't know who are the people. We don't know who the people are behind each project in Catalyst. We can only read there and the name of the author. Okay, the solution: interviews in the Cardano podcast with the teams behind the interesting projects on Catalyst. This would encourage more participation. Wow, that first sentence was a little hard to read there. Okay, so what this is essentially is what I'm doing now, except interviewing the teams. I've looked through this proposal. This is it's pretty nice. He has a link here to his YouTube channel. So he's already done five interviews, and he says he has 5 more in the can that he's just got to edit and get out. He has a nice breakdown or budget, right, of the money here: $20 per hour, 50 interviews, $100 a month, 6 months, $6,000. I'm sorry, $1,000 a month, 6 months, $6,000. I think this is fine. It's a little competition for me, I guess. Actually, I'm not interviewing the team, so I guess we're doing different things. I like it. I think anything that gets people more involved in Cardano, I think is a good idea. So, I don't think he really needs much more. He's shown his experience. He's got a link to the channels. He's already done some already. I like this. I like this proposal. I think it should do well. It's already got 14 kudos, so it looks like it's on its way. And the question we're trying to answer here is, how can we encourage entrepreneurs from outside the Cardano ecosystem to submit proposals to Catalyst in the next 2 funds? And I think this will help people do that when they see some of the teams that have been funded or who are trying to get funded. So I like this project. I think this is a good idea. This is one I would probably vote for. Okay, let's move on to the second one here. Now, this second one here, well, let me read first. Let me read what the problem statement is. Newbies need more documentation. When onboarding is self-guided, we create undue friction for incoming talent. Let's make it personal. The solution: deliver a guided onboarding experience to condense, ramp up, triage talent, and motivate day 1 action while creating community connections. His experience: co-organized and facilitated the first Catalyst community retro and planning. Okay, so when I pick these projects, I didn't read through this whole thing, but I know this. I know this proposer. He did exactly that. He facilitated a meeting between all the community advisors. He did a great job. I mean, phenomenal job. He kept the meeting going. You know, we got a lot done. And I mean, I don't know how else to say, but he just literally guided the meeting and just kept it flowing and kept everybody talking. And it was probably the most the best hour spent in like a multi-person setting, because he just kept everything flowing. It was really, really good. In fact, he does have a link here to, I think this is it right here, a link to the board we were working off of. And I'll show you this really quick if it pops up. Enter as a visitor. Okay, so you can close this down. So you can kind of see it here. So, you know, you can zoom in on all these things, and it was great. I mean, he put this board out before we were going to have the meeting, so everyone involved in the meeting could kind of put their information in there. And then when we got in the meeting, he just flowed right through it. It was great. I can't say enough good things about it. It was really, he did a really, really good job. Okay, but I still want to look at something else in this proposal. Now, I mean, this is a great proposal, right? He's got the roadmap laid out, week 1 through 6. He got his KPIs here, what he's going to do, what he expects, well, what we can expect. He has the use of funds here, like a budget laid out, really nice. This is a really nice proposal. I would use this proposal as an example to show other people for sure. The only problem I have with this, it's not a problem. He's asking for $25,000. I think it's worth what he does and what he wants to do here. Seeing from what he did before, I think it's worth $25,000. I'm just afraid that other people are going to come in here and maybe not think this is worth $25,000. I don't know if I would have thought this was worth $25,000 if I actually wasn't involved with that meeting and if I didn't see him kind of in action. But I'm going to vote for this for sure. And I think that's a reasonable amount of money based on what I saw. I just hope other people will come to that conclusion too. And I know reading through this and what he says he's going to do, which is a guide, but it's much more than a guide. It's going to be much more than a guide. I can just tell by what I saw. So hopefully other people see that too, because I would like to see this. I would like to see this get funded for sure. This was a good proposal, and like I said, I've seen him in action. Okay, let's move to the third proposal here. Okay, so I picked this proposal. If you saw my show yesterday, I went over some things that bothered me a bit, and essentially it was proposals that weren't really proposals; they were just ideas. Yeah, so this is kind of that same kind of thing, but I picked this for a couple of reasons. One, because there were a lot of just ideas in this campaign, in this particular campaign. Most of these things in here are ideas. They weren't full fleshed out proposals yet. So I had to pick another one, and I kind of thought this was an interesting idea. Okay, problem statement. Proposers play an all or nothing role and they can't vote. Describe your solution. Make a rewards pool for proposers that participate until the end of the process to encourage them to participate. Okay, so they can vote. So proposers can vote. I think he was kind of misinformed here. But kind of what he's talking about is if you're a community advisor, you get paid essentially, right, to do reviews and to review reviews. And there's a couple other things. When you vote, you kind of get paid to vote too. So I think essentially what he's saying in here is that if the proposer, it's all or nothing. Either they get funded or they don't. So I mean, I don't really agree with this. Maybe he has a different view. Hopefully he knows now that he can vote. I'm sure some people wrote comments down here. I can't get to the comments; they're shut off now. But I think, what he wants is he wants proposers. So anyone who proposes an idea, to have, if they start at the beginning and go all the way to the end and stay involved, engaged the whole time, that they get some kind of money just for doing that. I don't agree with that. I think that when you're proposing something, you're trying to get your project funded. I don't think there should be funding just to bring your project on board. So I just wanted to kind of bring this up and look at this. I thought it was interesting. This never even crossed my mind that someone would think that it was kind of unfair that as a proposer you didn't get anything when you were proposing. I figured it was kind of an obvious thing that you get it or you don't, you get paid or you don't if your proposal gets picked. Another thing, what is ideas? So he says, ideas are not good or bad. They are proposals for the community to explore how to grow the Cardano blockchain. As for pool, any participation should be rewarded in order to encourage company and people to participate. Yeah, I just don't agree with that. I think the proposal itself is a whole separate thing, and a lot of these proposals are asking for a lot of money. So if for any one proposal that gets picked, they're going to get so much more funding than they ever would being a community advisor or voting. It's pretty much pennies not pennies, but it's not a whole lot of money to be a community advisor. And I'm not doing it for that, and I know most of them probably aren't doing it for that. So anyway, I thought this was interesting. I thought we could talk about it a little bit. All righty. Okay, let's move on to community chatter here. So what's going on in the community? Today, we're actually talking about community advisors, and there's a process, right? So the community advisors go in on week 4, I believe, or week 5. I think it's week 5. And there's a group of us, and we go in. Anybody can be a community advisor, right? So we go in there and we rate the proposals. We have to give them a star rating, and we have to write something. If we don't write something, it's thrown out. So it has to be, a kind of a good proposal. You can't just go in there and get 4s or 5s or whatever. You have to actually do something. And based on what the community advisors do, there's that's how they get their star rating that you see when you go to vote, and that everyone's going to see when they go to vote. So it's important for these proposers that they get a high star rating. For the first 2 funds, I think it was 70% of the people that got the highest ratings got funded. So it seems like it does make a difference. But what we're doing, we're adding an extra step to it, right? So proposers go in there, community advisors go in there and grade all the proposals, right? But you have people that are going in there just so they can get a little bit of money by doing it. So we have something called it slips my mind right now, but like veteran community advisors go in and actually look at what the community advisors wrote. Okay, back up one. I know I'm confusing you here. After the community advisors give their ranking, the proposers go back and look at all the rankings and what the community advisors said. If they have a problem with some of the things that the community advisors might have said, or with a score they got, they can mark it. After that, a veteran community advisors go back into it, and we look at all the proposals that were marked, right? That were marked off by the proposer. And we see if yes, is there a good reason that this review is not good? And then we decide whether the proposer is right, then we keep the review in there. If it looks like the community advisor was just trying to get some money and didn't even read the proposal, and we agree with the proposer, then we can take that review and throw it out. And it's a way to try to make it a little bit fairer, so we don't have people coming in and being community advisors that are on a different project and just trying to vote down projects. So it's still kind of in the works, and we're trying to figure out the best way to do it. When we did it in Fund 3, it was a little bit of a mess, so we're trying to fix that up. So that's the biggest thing the community was talking about today. We're talking about how to do that and whether we should implement like a plan, like a red card, yellow card system. But anyway, I hope I didn't confuse you. I probably did. I'll try to clean it up next time. Okay, so my big anti-ending, anti-closing. All right, I will see you tomorrow. Everyone have a good day. Good night. Bye-bye.